We live in a world that works against our healthy, energetic function. This is why yoga is so crucially important. What Meridian Yoga does is it works with this traditional Chinese medicine principle that it enlivens, heals, and energizes our organs.
Welcome to the show, where we discuss time-tested and science-supported tools for better health, long life, and pleasures. It is not secret that our body is powered by energy flow that powers all our bodily functions, and when it gets blocked, we feel aged and drained physically, mentally, emotionally. But the good news is that energy flow can be restored. Stay with us to learn how you can do that. I'm Lilian Zeltzer, and for over 3 decades, I researched, practiced, and hunted for natural stimulants for better health, longevity, and pleasures. In the process, I discovered many time-tested and science-supported natural stimulants and met numerous experts who, together with me, share their knowledge in this show with those who want it. Because, as Hippocrates said in the 4th century BC, if you're not your own doctor, you are a fool. Our guest today is Doctor of Political Science, a founder and CEO of Cave Sun Publishing, an author of 19 best-selling books, a podcaster, and most importantly, she is a licensed practitioner of Meridian Yoga. Welcome to the show, Dr. Maria Ian.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, in today's world, we are inundated with magic solutions and exercises that promise miraculous results, which are not time-tested or supported by the scientific evidence, like Meridian Yoga, which is rooted in centuries-old practices and philosophies of moving our own life force energy to promote sense of eternal youthfulness and overall well-being. Let's explore what Meridian Yoga is and why it is effective.
All right. Well, you said a couple of hundreds of years. It's actually about 3,000 years. This is yoga, and meridian studies are one of humanity's oldest medicine, oldest recorded, very effective still in the current time medicine. And you also mentioned the contemporary culture, climate of many various things that are supposed to work and then that maybe don't really do that. And I want to start by talking about this contemporary culture and what the problem is. Because today, and maybe for the very first time really in human history, because it's global, we live in a world, and that's also on a political level, but we are here talking about medicine. We live in a world that works against our healthy, energetic function. And that starts at a very basic, a daily level with work environments, automated tasks, the necessity to sit for longer periods of time just for work, which most people, have to do, those who work in offices, meeting rooms, closed buildings, cars. And what that does, and many don't know that because it becomes so automatic and so ingrained to just do certain things as we have to progress through this society. It enforces other subconscious also habits that are not good for. And I have in my podcasts, if this rings a bell with you, I'd like to encourage you to look up my podcast where all of this is broken down in detail.
Right.
Yeah. So with these automatic habits, this living on autopilot, come cravings, addictions, bad habits, impulsive behaviors, very short-sighted, stressful, working in the moment only mentalities that we are taught to accept as the way in which we have to operate to be successful in this society. But, and again, I'd like to refer you to my podcast for the details, this works against our healthy, energetic function. It's completely opposite. Even the idea of, okay, we're going on vacation to relax, but many people go on vacation, they follow certain very mechanical automated steps. They have to do the booking, the planning, they have to get onto transportation, airplane, car, train, whatnot, check into hotel, do certain things, blah, blah, And all of this, it is very interesting because I think this really happens for the very first time on a global scale in human history, works against our healthy energetic functions. So this is why yoga is so crucially important today, because yoga helps liberate all of these blockages, helps to get us back into the energetic flows that connect us to our source in the universe where we were created and where we never really depart from, right? So then Meridian Yoga, and there are many different forms of yoga, and they are actually so different that if you would hear the definitions, you would say, wow, this is very, very different. How can all of this be yoga? But it is. But what Meridian Yoga does is it works with this traditional Chinese medicine principle that it enlivens, heals, and energizes our organs, meaning heart, liver, kidney, stomach, intestine, all of those, right? Which the yoga you just learn when you just go to any yoga class, it's not going to be that. And why? Well, because you need to know traditional Chinese medicine, you need to know the organs and the meridians. And when you study yoga, you don't study that at all, right? So that in a nutshell is Meridian Yoga. And there's many things I can add, but if you want to add some questions, you're very welcome. So there's something very important I want to add in terms of healing power. Or do you want to go ahead and ask something?
You're very passionate about Meridian Yoga, but most of the people in our audience wouldn't know what actually is. Yes, it is based on traditional Chinese medicine, on movement and so on. But what about those 5 meridians and how it's all connected and why it's so important to channel that energy flow through it? What it does to our psycho, to our mental state and physical state, how it reflects on our ability to work.
Well, what you're mentioning, I mean, to answer those questions, you'd need about a 3-month class. I mean, those need very specific answers.
In a nutshell, there are 5
in a nutshell. Okay. Yeah, in a nutshell. So in a nutshell, as I said, we're sort of living in this world where sort of the way we are meant to function works against our healthy, energetic, working, which is why we have many serious diseases in today's world. Now, when people today go to the doctor, usually, unless you want to spend millions of dollars on some very high expert doctors, which the very vast majority of humanity is not going to be able to, the doctors are going to target the organs. If you have a heart attack, they're going to look at your heart. If your stomach fails, they're going to look at your stomach. If you are a woman who has a problem with ovaries, they're going to look at your ovaries. If you have lung problems, they're going to look at your lungs. Now, all of these organs, and there is a lot of science on this. So what I'm saying now is backed by volumes of very solid scientific research. These organs work and are supported by an energy network. So it happens very often that, okay, you had a heart attack, you went to see a highly expert heart doctor, you had the right treatment, but then you may have another heart attack, or you may start to have stomach problems, or you may start to have liver problems, right? Well, so, or some people actually, they are healthy, they don't have problems, and suddenly they have a heart attack and they die. They say, well, how come? I've seen the doctor, I have my checkups, nothing is wrong with me, so how did this happen? Or I saw a doctor and he or she treated that, but then it came back or something else came back. The reason is our organs are the last step. Our organs are visible, right? They are the last step on the energy, sequence, if you want to look at it that way, where it all happens on the invisible level first, right? And then slowly it moves to the visible by the means of psychosomatic symptoms, some problem that, well, I sort of feel tired, I'm drained, I don't know what it is, I have a little pain here, a little pain there, but nobody can, like, you go and see a doctor and they cannot actually find anything, right? So that means the energy is already progressing, it's becoming visible a little. Then maybe you're getting very severe anxieties or, anger and, stuff like that. It's progressing some more. And then finally, it ends up in the organs, the actual visible organs, where then you break down. Okay. Now, starting from the invisible to all the way to the organs is a very long path. Okay. There's a lot that can be done preventively. And this is where yoga comes in. If you practice Meridian Yoga correctly, consistently, and honestly, and there's a lot more I can add to what honestly means, you can get your energy moving over here while it's invisible, so that you never get to the organ issue. Okay, or if it's already gotten to the organs, you can go back to the invisible and address it there. And for many people that works quite well. So that's in a nutshell. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so people with all different problems can rely on Meridian Yoga for treatments. As an aphrodisiac expert, I had many discussions with traditional Chinese medicine experts who always referred to stimulation of adrenal glands as the most effective way for awakening and sustaining our sex drive, which is combined with specific libido boosting recipe, which I will share with you guys after this interview. Are there any specific Meridian Yoga movements that can support healthy libido?
Well, that's a great question. It's a great question because that, again, you can take a whole class just on that. So I'm going to just give a nutshell answer. The immediate, obvious, clear answer is any postures that bring blood flow to your pelvic area, right? I mean, like butterfly, seated or on the back. I mean, there are many. So, but that's not the point, okay? Because I just personally, and from what I've studied and from the people I've met and from the people I've worked with, the people with the healthiest libido and the best relationships are not those who are going to, think, oh my God, I really want to have sex. So what am I going to do? I need to get my libido going. That's a wrong approach, right? The healthiest people are those where their whole energy network and all their 12 meridians and all of their organs are in the best balance that they can get it into. Because that's when the human body works healthily and normally and is going to attract that which it should attract. Okay. I've, yeah,
Our sex lives
yeah.
heavily depends on the equilibrium in our
Mm-hmm.
where all systems work in harmony.
Yes.
But can you
Yeah.
give our audience a taste of a few actionable do-it-yourself Meridian Yoga exercises for better health, longevity, pleasures, whatever? I understand you cannot physically show us. Can you describe, say, positions or movements or anything that we can do to enjoy life better?
Okay. I would start. Again, Meridian Yoga is different from some other forms of yoga in that it is slow and holds poses for as long as is reasonable, recommendable, which is wonderful. So I have a sequence that I practice that I have learned from, from experts. The reason why I don't want to tell anybody, okay, do these postures, is because the purpose is for each person to find your own energy resting place as you practice a sequence. Some people, okay, let's say the sequence is 20 minutes, which is very short. Okay. Some people are going to get to their energy resting place in 10 minutes, others in 15, others in 19. There is no correct, strictly speaking, if you do the techniques correctly, there is no time where I can tell you, okay, you're going to do this and then you're going to do this and then you're going to get to where you want to get. It doesn't work like that. So my recommendation is you must learn a sequence step by step, gradually. Don't force yourself. Listen to your body. Learn to work with your body. And I want to say something very funny. I was taking a class on libido, actually, and traditional Chinese medicine with a very accomplished expert in that topic. And there was a small number of students in that class who took the class because they want to have sex, okay? And then they got angry because they were so focused on that and they were doing whatever they were doing and whatever wasn't working out for them as they thought they would, and they got infuriated, So it's very funny if you are there and you say, okay, what are these people doing exactly? I would recommend, if you are very interested in finding your resting place, in knowing how the different poses exactly work with your different organs, where your blockages may be, how you can best work with your yoga to release those blockages and get your body into harmony. I'm happy to talk to anybody who would like to have a conversation. And I think Lillian can share my contact information below the video. If it's not there, my email address is support@caveofthesun.com. And I have an email sign up box on my website as well. So there are a lot of ways to get into contact with me. But my bottom line is that you are responsible for your health. Your doctor is not responsible for your health. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Be your own doctor.
Yes.
So if you would like to explore the benefits of Meridian Yoga therapy is something to do with in traditional Chinese medicine, this life force energy they call qi.
Correct.
that
Yes.
flows along all our meridians and stimulates our bodily functions, then talk to somebody who is specializing in Meridian Yoga because it is a very special area, or contact Dr. Maria Ian. And of course, as you mentioned, her contact details will be displayed under this video. Thank you
And
so much.
I'd like to add something for women, if you don't mind, for women, I mean, for men, it's a little different approach. But why, there are many women who describe great benefits from traditional Chinese medicine. And why is that? Well, it's because we women, because we menstruate, or even and when we don't menstruate, we change our energy in different channels, which is still related to our function as women. It is, we are closer related to blood and to qi that moves the blood. So if you are a woman with any problem, whether it's breast pain or menstrual cramps, or you have menopausal problems, you will especially benefit from Meridian Yoga because it's going to move your blood and your qi, which in your case is blocked. And, that's pretty much I can say that as a truth. That's a sign, that's a fact. Yeah, maybe other things blocked as well, but primarily what is blocked is your blood and your qi flow. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not only for women who have symptoms of menopause, it could be also for men who
Well, men is kidney, yes,
suffer from
yes.
andropause. It could be
Mm-hmm.
any kind of problem that you experience, because Meridian Yoga is therapeutic yoga that merges Chinese medicine, that stimulates specific meridians, energy channels related to different organs.
Yep.
I love this subject and I would like to discuss more, but we are limited by the time. Would you like to add
Okay.
something else before we'll wrap up this episode?
Yes, as we mentioned emotions a lot, and meridians we work on energy, works on certain vibrations, which is connected to our emotions. So the most immediate expression of our energy is really emotions, and especially sadness. I mean, there's anger and frustration, but that is more noticeable. But especially sadness is connected to the liver and depression. And many women and also men, we are also sort of taught to think that's normal. It's normal to go slow. It's normal to those attitudes, be patient, blah blah blah. And that's not good for us at all, because we are high energy beings. So if you suffer from anything in terms of sadness, frustration, anger comes after that, but already sadness, frustration, anxiety, this very low level anxiety, that sort of existentialist anxiety, fears. Meridian Yoga is going to help you a lot.
And most of
Because
the topics you discuss on your podcast, Maria.
yes, all of what we mentioned just these past 25 minutes or so, there are hours and hours and hours of details behind them. We are only scratching the surface in a very superficial way here.
Thank you so much, Maria, for letting us know a little bit more about Meridian Yoga, because whatever is written in the books and available on YouTube or other social media platforms is altered to suit the author, where you are the practitioner, you are the one who actually handles that performance. So thank you again, and perhaps one day we'll be honored to have you again on our show. Thank you, Maria.
All right. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you won't miss any of the new episodes. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions, please put them below the video. I do read them. if you are looking for a good, reliable source of specific ingredients, experts, services, or products, click on the resources link under this video. To health, long life, and pleasures.